Hey, what's up gamers, and welcome to Too Cool Gaming School. This is our very first video on the channel, and this is the channel where you, the students, know so much more than I, the teacher. In today's pickup video, our lesson plan for the day is geography, as we take a trip to Fair Trade Games in Buffalo. Then we will have an economics lesson from, what do you know, GameStop. And finally, every kid's favorite subject, specials. Now, the goal for this channel, there's actually two of them. One is to get 1 subscriber. So at the end of this video, I very well may have reached that goal and peaked. The second and more important goal for this channel is to get feedback from viewers as to the games in my collection, the games that I pick up. Have you played them? Are they good? Which games are worth the time, given that time to play games is so limited? So please comment down below as to any of these games that you see, and I look forward to reconnecting or responding to those comments. Okay, so shout outs to Fair Trade Games. It's a fairly new retro game store in Buffalo, New York, near the Galleria Mall. And not too long ago, I had a bunch of GameCube games. Now, I've never owned a GameCube, but came into some GameCube titles that could fetch a pretty good dollar. And so I headed out there and picked up quite a few games. When I travel to Game Hunt, just like I'm certain the viewers here would agree with, I intend to spend money and want to make it worth my while. So the first game I picked up, excuse me, is this game called Dreamfall Adventures or Dreamfall The Longest Journey. I think there's actually maybe a PS5 game that just recently came out called Dreamfall Adventures. And I don't know if it's a remaster or a collection, but the interesting thing about this story, or this game rather, is that when I picked it up, it was basically a blind buy, or so I thought. The graphics look really good. It seems almost like a point-and-click adventure, although I don't think it is exactly that. And then when I came home, I found this piece of paper in my game room, and lo and behold, I had written it down as a hidden gem or highly rated game to look for. And I think you're going to see another title from this list in this pickup from the same store. Now, as far as information on this game, the producer or the publishing company, Aspyr, I did a little research on them, and they are responsible for a bunch of LucasArts games or Lucasfilm games. And I believe this company also has recently done the Tomb Raider remasters 1 through 3 and 4 through 6. This game looked in fairly good condition, and it's always nice to add a game to the OG Xbox. The second game, and also on that list, was this game Freaky Flyers. Now, this is a game that's extremely common. Look at how absolutely mint the book looks in this copy. This is a game that I see all the time. I've seen it for probably as low as $8 or $9, and now, of course, it's at $16. But it just looks fun. The cover kind of just sells it. And I'm not much for flying games, but this kind of looks like, 1942, 1943. Some of those games that I grew up with on the NES, but a lot more fun and exciting. So we'll give that a spin. I am a child of the early 80s and 90s. So when I see anything that is related to that era, that pop culture, Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe, I think you're going to see a little pattern here in some of the pickups. I am all about it. Now, this game was a little pricier at $23, and it's published by Atari. I had never seen this game, and my PS2 collection is probably the biggest one that I have. So I was kind of excited to give this a shot. The graphics looked really nice. This was another very minty copy, and I know that right now the talk on the town is to bring those 360 and PS3 Transformer games back for backwards compatibility. So I'm hoping or thinking that if that does indeed happen, maybe the value of other Transformer games will go up. Now, this is a game that was only $7, Mission Impossible on the PS2. Again, probably never played. Looks absolutely brand new as far as instruction manual and disc. The only reason I bought this, and the graphics look okay, kind of looks a little bit like that Siphon Filter era game. My son and I were, I think, watching Mission Impossible or talking about it, and he said, I can't believe there aren't any games based on this movie franchise. And so, of course, I told him about the NES game, which I think did fairly well, and I played as a kid, and didn't know that there was anything on the PS2. So when I saw it for $7, I figured I'd give it a shot. Now, as far as my collecting journey goes, I'm never going to have complete sets of a console. So what I've been starting to think of lately, so that I feel as though I'm, crossing things off a list per se, is trying to get those mini sets, whether it's all the Lego video games or, all the games that are from the WWF or WWE license. So Legends of Wrestling 2, although not complete, is a one of two set. I think I have the first one on the PlayStation, and now, of course, this is on the Xbox. So I still consider that completion. It does say that there was a DVD included, which, of course, is not a part of this. But let me tell you about this game. So this game has those graphics similar to that of WWE All-Stars on the 360. A game that I really had a lot of fun with. But the roster on this game is phenomenal. This is the era of wrestling I grew up with. The Rockers, the Nasty Boys, the British Bulldogs, Bam Bam Bigelow. Those are players that you, of course, can use in this game or even unlock, I guess. And so this will be fun just for a trip down memory lane. Now, I got two games that were a little bit pricier given the fair trade that I got from Fair Trade Games. The first one being Octopath Traveler. This is a game I've played before. The graphics are absolutely beautiful. The Dragon Quest remaster type graphics. And I have the second one on the PS5. I don't have Zero, but this is a game that I cannot find anywhere. I never see it at GameStop. I don't see it at my local game store. And when I saw it for $30, to be honest, I thought that was a pretty good deal. Tell me down below if it was or not. And then I wouldn't call this game a grail, but a game that I've wanted for a long time. I've seen it and passed over it at game conventions. Is Scarface. Now, they had like 5 or 6 copies of this game there. Some of them were like new or sealed. And this was a little bit pricey. I think they might have brought it down to $50 for me. But I was pretty excited to get this game. The neat thing about this is the story is an original story written by the director of American History X. And if you know that movie is absolutely phenomenal. Shout outs to Edward Norton, an underappreciated, awesome actor. And this game, of course, you might say is a GTA knockoff of sorts, but the soundtrack in this game, similar to that of Grand Theft Auto, is awesome. The Fat Boys are on here, LL Cool J, I believe, Public Enemy, there's country, there's heavy metal. And from what I've heard of this game, it's a really good time. So excited to get this game started and enjoy the adventure, or the original tale rather, here that follows from the first Scarface film. And now for our economics lesson. So recently GameStop had their 4 for $40 and 4 for $20 sale. So I'm certain everybody here has found themselves at a GameStop looking for that fourth title, and you just can't find it. It's almost as if the locations stock their games so that they can get rid of 2 games that maybe appeal to the masses, and then 2 games that are just collecting dust and keeping space on the shelves. So not too long ago, you could just pick up any old 4 games, go to another location, do an exchange, and pick up that 4th game that you were really looking forward to. But as these GameStops are closing in my area, I've talked to some people and they have said directly that that would no longer be a policy that they would support, which is a problem. However, when you're paying $5 for a game, it's really not that big of a deal. It's kind of worth the risk, even $10. So I have quite a few games to go through really quickly. The first game is X-Men Destiny. I believe it's like a fighting game. I do like X-Men. I like the Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom games of those sorts. This game is not complete, and when I came home, I found that I actually own this on the PS3 already, so that was a bit of a waste, and I think that this was indeed the game that I just picked up because I couldn't find a 4th. Now, I did say earlier, I'm a child of the 80s. I love G.I. Joe. I collected them as a kid. Now, I'm not sure how well this game was received. It does look kind of fun. The graphics don't look half bad. The thing that sold me on this was the 16 playable characters. It's in great condition, of course. And there's some characters in this game that I'm not even sure were featured in the movie. Shipwreck, Tunnel Rat, those are some awesome characters that I think had their due in the cartoon, but are not exactly that popular. Of course, who's not going to pick Snake Eyes? And there's even unlockable Cobra characters, and you can play as Storm Shadow, of course, Destro. So this was the game that, was merely a $3 discount, but happy to have it. I think I might have this already on the Wii, but who plays the Wii? Now, this is a 3rd title, and I don't have a ton of games for my Xbox One. However, it is a must-own, as this is one of the flagship games or franchises. Now, it's the deluxe edition, so I thought, hey, why not? I'm not really into games like this, or this game in particular. I know a lot of people, herald the music and the graphics. I've played it before, and I'm not in love, but it's something I wanted to buy. Imagine my delight when I opened it and saw that this has only the original soundtrack inside and not the game. So again, a $5 folly here. And no, I don't think there is... Oh, wait. Oh, dear Lord. The game is in there. I think I've done 3 takes on this video, never to look below the disc. So, yay, that's a win. The 4th game in the 4 for 20 was Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Now, this game is in beautiful shape, and basically, I don't think this game did well either. I think in this game, rather than playing as, Leon or any of the good guys, you're playing as a Umbrella Corps operative. The name escapes me, but it's a familiar name to those who have played a lot of Resident Evil games. Picking this up, honestly, was just a matter of trying to complete the Resident Evil collection. And I do have nearly every game, and now I am that much closer. Okay, had another 4 for 20 bundle. I have most of, if not all of, the Lego games. This is a game or a series I've never really watched. My son and I enjoy playing Lego games, or we used to, and certainly have seen all of the movies. This game was in great shape. I've seen it a million times. I think I own it loose disc, but wanted to have it in the case. I think that this has been reported or recorded as being one of the better games, believe it or not, even though it's the Clone Wars and not part of, the movie canon. This was the next title. Now, Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds. This may have been, I believe, the last Hot Shots game released. on the PS3. There was a game ported from the Vita, maybe in like 2013 or something, but this game's in beautiful shape. You can't beat the 3-click mechanism for playing golf. I have the 2K games, and they're a lot of fun, and the graphics are outstanding, and the career mode is wonderful. But this is a game you can just pick up and play for, 15, 20 minutes and probably unlock a character or maybe unlock a course. And sometimes it's a lot more fun just to play a quick 15-minute round than to spend an hour with one of the newer golf games. This was a game that, I couldn't find a fourth game. And I've certainly heard about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I want to say that this series goes back maybe to the PlayStation 2. Although the back of the game cases don't really give a whole lot for games anymore. I used to absolutely love looking at the back of the box and looking at the art and reading about the adventure that I was going to partake in when I got home. Not much on the back here, and a lot of it is generally not even in English. But it says over 50 playable characters. And I teach 4th grade, so I knew that that means each character, I believe, is at a value of 10 cents. So why not? Even if I play this game for 15 minutes or since it's rated T, maybe I bring it in to play with some of my students during lunch bunch. They love playing, like a Marvel vs. Capcom or a Smash Bros. Game, just to get some of that energy out. So maybe that's what purpose this game serves. The last one, I don't know why it doesn't have a sticker on it, but Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. This was the other $10 game. Super old game. Doesn't look like it was ever touched. Absolutely beautiful condition. This game kind of reminds me of not Splinter Cell, but Siphon Filter. I'm not super into stealth games. I have the Hitman games, the Metal Gear games, but I'm not super into that genre. However, this is a Ubisoft franchise that is long since dormant and might come back someday. If it does, maybe the value of this game goes up, or maybe it's more likely that a game like this gets remastered. 4 more games from GameStop. This is absolutely a shelf piece that if you are a video game collector, you have to own. If somebody is like, hey, you like video games? I don't. This is the game I'm going to throw in there because the graphics are stupendous. It's like that 1940s cartoon vibe, and it's mind-blowing. I remember when this came out, I was like, can video games get any better? This actually came with a bunch of collectible cards, and I know there's a Mouse PI game out right now that has the same graphic style. This game is wicked hard. I can't even pretend to say I'm good at it. I don't even think I've cleared the first level. But this is a game that if you have an Xbox or an Xbox One, definitely have to own it. This is a survival horror game, Sharon's Staircase. I know nothing about this other than it takes place, I believe, in a mental hospital. Enough said. I think that this same company came out with Dollhouse last year, which may be a game that's just a shade newer than this. But survival horror games, they hold their value. So this is one I'm very particularly interested if anybody else has played. 2 more games from GameStop. This is a game that quickly was in the discount rack. I remember seeing it come out at maybe $39.99, and within a month or two, I think it was down to $20. So it's Wild Guns Reloaded. Now the graphics look really awesome, really fun, that Western shooter. And I'm going to be honest, I think when I saw this, even the very first time, I thought it was a remake of Gunsmoke, which is an NES game that I absolutely loved playing as a kid. And so I thought, cool, it's been remastered. Let's give it a go. It's not, but I did find out that it is a remaster of a Super Nintendo game. And I believe that game complete goes for about $800. So this has better graphics, probably some, quality of life improvements. I'm going to give it a shot. And as we follow the theme of, in my opinion, 3 good games and 1 game that I could do without, the last pickup from GameStop was Assassin's Creed: The Ezio Collection. Now, my problem with this game is that I already own all 3 of these games on the Xbox 360. I've only beaten Assassin's Creed 1, although I own every Assassin's Creed, with the exception being the new one. The first one I think was okay. The second one, of course, I've heard is the best. And of course, this main protagonist is supposed to be the best as well. So I figure if I get back into this series, I will play the second one on the PlayStation 4, or maybe on the PS5 rather, with an upgrade, and then continue the story of Ezio through the other 3 games. Now that brings us to our last subject for the day, and that is my students' favorite part of the day, and that's going to specials. So when I think of specials in the gaming world, I think of maybe going to a gaming convention, or someplace out of state, and your wife gives you 15 minutes to run into that store, which is usually about the time limit I'm given. So a friend of mine has recently gone to Limited Run Games in North Carolina, a place that, of course, everyone would probably love to visit. Now, he asked me what I wanted and told me to make a list. So, of course, I went on YouTube, and started watching videos upon videos, right? Went online to see what games have been made by Limited Run that I don't own. And I made quite a list, and then narrowed it down because, games there are between $30 and $40. And I think really that's the limit on new releases, as far as price, which is awesome. Now, when you watch videos, they talk about the $10 table. That didn't exist when my friend went there. They talk about aisles and aisles of retro games, which, again, my friend said he didn't really notice. So it makes me wonder if, some of these YouTubers that have done videos there, if the store has been prepped and they're able to sort of, showcase the store in all its glory, when maybe that's not what it is on the daily. If you've been to that store, I would love to know your experience, and if you were able to pick up some of the games from Limited Run that maybe now are hard to find or impossible. So there were a couple of games that I asked for. One was Golf Story. Now, Golf Story, I believe, started off as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Then I think it went to the PS4. No one can find that. So I had to settle for RPG Golf Legends. This is a game that's sort of in that Zelda clone. And I guess your weapon is a golf club. You can do a little bit of golfing. I watched some gameplay, and it's not reviewed very highly. Doesn't seem like a game that once I open I'll stick with. But hey, it's from Limited Run, and I didn't have to wait, months upon months for it to arrive. Now, the only other game that I asked for that was there, and this game's pretty heavy. I wonder if there's like something inside, like some cards or something. This was a little bit more pricey. This is a game that I know is good. River City Girls 2 kind of follows in that Scott Pilgrim, Streets of Rage 4 graphic style. It's the sequel, so hey, probably bigger and better than the first one. And this was a game I asked for. My friend delivered, so shout out to my buddy Scott, and excited to give this a shot. This is one of those, pick up and play, some couch co-op probably with my son. And these are games that together we can experience, enjoy, and complete. So thank you, friends, for following me on this inaugural journey through YouTube. Thank you for giving this video a like. Thank you for being at your most direct and best attention, just as I would expect from my 4th graders. And I look forward to more videos, your comments, responding back, and seeing you in the next video. Until then, class dismissed.